party people and magic makers? Destiny here on this magical Monday, and today we are going to talk about the dualities of our bullshit stories. What? I know. As you know, every Monday I come at you with a mindset video for you to implement throughout the week, and I would love to hear from you and hear what you experienced from it at the end of the week when you're done implementing it. And as always, if you know of anybody that could use this information, please feel free to share it with them. So Destiny, what are you talking about these dualities with our bullshit stories? Here's what I'm talking about. You may have noticed that there are some people out there in the world that are incredibly confident, but it's almost a forced confidence. Like, it doesn't just come naturally. More than likely, that person is actually suffering from a not good enough BS story. Okay? And because they have that not good enough story, they have to then prove that they are good enough. So that can look like knowing it all. That can look like this overabundance of confidence that's not, it's too cocky. There's a fine line between cocky and confidence, and they are just a little too far over on the cocky side, so it comes across feeling very rash and icky. It can also come across the third way as like the God complex. They know what's better for you than you do, and that is just maddening. Because let's be incredibly real. No one knows what's better for you than you. They can open your mind up to other opportunities, other suggestions, other ways of being, but you've got to be the one to make the choice to move forward into whichever direction feels best for you. And what happens with the God complex people is they tell you, this is what you have to do, this is why, and they force you to do it. And they're not stopping to listen to how you actually feel about it. Okay? It's sort of like a steamroller effect, where they just keep going and going and going because they know what's best for you. They want you to get there now, but they're not really checking in with you to find out, is this really best? Okay? And I bring this up because I've worked with a number of clients who have come to me saying, this is what I want. And the thing is as we get closer to that thing, they realize it's not what they really wanted. It doesn't feel good anymore. It just feels very gross and icky. And I'm like, well, why are we still going that direction then? Now, of course, checking to make sure there's no other, bullshit stories holding them back or preventing them from having what they want. But like, if it's truly not what they want and they realize, oh, there's something better, or there's something more, or there's something different that I want instead, but it's on that same trajectory, why not make the switch? Now, the people who are in that God complex mindset, they're not going to want you to switch, because if you did, then that makes them wrong, and then that feeds into their not good enough program. So it really looks funny, and it looks so different. Okay, so we're over here thinking that it has to look like playing small, that it has to look like, oh, I'm not going to make and take these opportunities, but it can look completely different and on the other side. Now, those people that have like this, it's really like a false bravado, and that's that fine line between cocky and confident, right? It's because they're trying to show up that way so that you don't find out that they actually feel like they're not good enough. That's the kind of a front that they put on, right? So this person usually shows up like a know-it-all, and they show up like, oh, no, I don't need your help, I got this. Oh, basically pushing people away. Because what happens is when they have people pushed away, and then they have this little, act that they're putting on, it really does keep people at arm's distance, and it prevents people from finding out what's really going on with them, that really deep-seated issue that they have. And so just pay attention to that just because it looks like it's confidence doesn't mean it actually is confidence, right? Just because it looks like, oh, hey, I think this is what a not good enough program should look like, it could look very different. And the way that you'll know, and this is something that is just, it's like a muscle, and you gotta practice, and you gotta like work with it, is to trust yourself. If it feels like kind of jiggly and wanky and like, something's off here, it probably is. And so that's when you can like just pay attention and watch. And the giveaway is usually when you watch them with other people. Okay? If they start taking credit for something that someone else did, pay attention, right? And we see this a lot in like the corporate world, and there are threads of what is it on Reddit, right? Of like bosses who take credit for things that their employees have done. More than likely, that underlying story that's running that person is a not good enough. So because they feel like they are not good enough, they've got to prove that they are by doing these things, right? So you can really see it with other people. So just pay attention. If there's even just a little bit of like jankiness, I guess, like it's a little off, right? Start paying attention to how they behave with other people. Now, when the disclaimer here, I usually give them 3 opportunities. Why? Because, for example, if I could get 1 yes and 1 no, that 3rd opportunity should break that tie, right? Because they might be different depending on who they're talking to. If they're speaking to someone in an authority, position, they may come across as very different than if they're speaking to somebody that they perceive as like in a lower position than them. And so you want to match. So wherever you fall on that scale with this person, you want to match and see how they behave with 3 other people that are on that same scale, on that same level. That way you really get a good idea, a good encompassing idea of what this could be. There are so many dualities within our bullshit stories that it can all look very, very different. So knowing how to decipher it for yourself is so very important. And if you know of somebody who does this, right? They have that false bravado, they have that overconfidence, right? Like it seems like it's too much, or they have that God complex. Pay attention. More than likely, what is underlining that is the not good enough. And this is how they are reflecting it, how to keep people at arm's length so that they don't find out, they don't see what's actually going on. So pay attention. You know what's best for you. You trust yourself. Cleaning away and getting rid of all of that bullshit that's stopping you from trusting yourself, that is the most important step. Okay? That's what I help you do. If you're interested in that and cleaning all of that not you stuff that you learn, I'm here. That's what I'm here to do. Because I'm like, no, you deserve to be and trust you. That's what we need more of. We need you. Not what somebody else thinks you should be, not what somebody else says you should be, but the true you. Okay? So if you have any questions about that, go ahead and post it below. I'm happy to get back to you, or feel free to DM me. But pay attention. Trust yourself when you're dealing with these types of people, because there's something else going on, okay? You've got this. All right, so until next week, have a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving if you're in the United States, and peace.